want some sauce?
Scene 1, Apple, take 1.
What's up, everybody? How's it going out there? So, in this video, let's go ahead and, so I saw that my wife had brought home an apple from her work. And so I saw this and I said, let's make some apple fritters. So, let's go ahead and we're going to end up coring this. And at the same time, we're going to be peeling it. Do you need to peel it? Not really, but I think that you end up with a better product if you do. There we go. Now, depending on the type of fritters that you like, the size, you know, you can just kind of cruise through almost like you're cutting up garlic. Something like this. Okay. And after one direction that way, you come through like this. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to take this and we are going to be throwing it in a frying pan, and we want to caramelize this a little bit. Okay, we want to soften the apple a little bit. So we're going to be adding a little bit of stuff to this. I opened the refrigerator and I saw the perfect amount of butter, so that's going to go inside there. Just a touch of kosher salt, not a lot, maybe 1/8 of a teaspoon tops. This is ground ginger. I'm just putting a little bit. Touch of nutmeg, touch of cinnamon. Put this on the stove over about medium-low heat. We need to sweeten this up a little bit, so I'm taking some sugar. And right there was maybe 1.5 tablespoons. That might be a tablespoon. That's enough. Maybe about 3 tablespoons. It's up to you. If you want to use brown sugar, you can. Okay, so what I've got here is just some regular all-purpose flour. And because we're only using 1 apple, I think about 3/4 of a cup to a cup of flour will be enough. Same as before. Some cinnamon. Same as before. A little bit of sugar. 1.5 tablespoons maybe. This is baking powder, about 1 tablespoon. If you want to, you can put a little bit of nutmeg in there. I'm not a big nutmeg fan, but... Okay, so now inside of this, what we're going to do is we're going to be adding an egg. Now you can put milk in this, you can put water in this, but I had opened up the refrigerator and I saw my wife had a little bit of ginger ale. So I'm going to put some ginger ale inside this. And what I'm looking for is a batter that is like a thick pancake batter. After we add the apples, we can always add a little bit more flour if that is too thin. As it sets, it's going to thicken a little bit. Now the apples are done, but I have to let them cool before I throw them inside there, because if not, it'll start cooking the eggs and stuff. So let's go ahead and pour our apples in this. So after stirring this up, I can see that it actually needs a little bit more flour. I added a little bit too much ginger ale, and I think that that right there is a decent consistency. Some people will make it a lot thicker. I kind of like it this way, so when you put it in there, it doesn't really clump up. It kind of spreads out and you have a bigger fritter. And I'm using grapeseed oil right now, simply because I have a bunch of it on hand. It has a high smoking point, doesn't really have that strong of a flavor or nothing like that, so that's what I'm using. But you can use any oil you want. Vegetable oil is fine, Crisco is fine, whatever, because essentially we're doing this just like you would make donuts. And then while that is heating up, we can go ahead and make our glazing. What I've got right here is just some regular powdered sugar. I was looking in the cupboard and my wife had performed a cardinal sin, and that is you never use imitation vanilla. She got imitation vanilla extract, so I'm going to use some real. Put just a touch of cinnamon in this. You can use water if you want to. You can use milk if you want to. I've got a little bit of half and half here. Stir this up real well to get out any of the clumps of powdered sugar. So I'm going to put a couple more hits of cinnamon inside there. And then at this point I think we've got a winner. And we'll Pop a couple inside here. And then what we want to do is we want to wait for one side to become brown. As soon as it's brown, we'll go ahead and we flip it. It should take at least a couple of minutes for it to brown. If it happens within a minute or so, it means that the temperature is just too hot. So most people don't put a thermostat inside there to check, but you want it to be around 350, maybe 375, something like that, the oil temperature. I think at this point I've got it. I turned it down a little bit. So let's take this out of here, try to get some of the fat off of there, and put it on a drying rack so it does not hold on to all of this oil and fat. And I might have enough for one or two more here after that. Now I've still got some other ones cooking, but generally what I'll do is that one of the largest ones I'll cut in half just to make sure that the inside has been cooked all the way and it's not too doughy or anything. Just to make sure. Generally you'll know if they're undercooked because they're going to seem like they weigh a lot more than maybe they should. It's because a lot of the water is still inside there. So basically if you come in and you cut into it, what you should see is something like that. Okay, that's what you should see. But the glaze, what we're going to do is we're going to pour the glaze over the tops of these. I still have a couple more cooking, so every time I go to Tucson and I go to Dunkin' Donuts to get some of their coffee, I always ask my uncle, you want me to get you something? He always says, yeah, give me an apple fritter and a Diet Coke. And I don't understand why you would get one and the other. It's like, you know, it's like get me something that's low calorie and 2 sticks of butter. But there we go, guys. Apple fritters. And make them at home. You saw it didn't take a lot of ingredients. Doesn't take a long time. Anyway, until next time, I'll talk to you later.